Well, good morning, everybody. We greatly appreciate you taking the time to join us. We're going to start in just a few minutes here. Let a few more folks join and really appreciate everybody's time here on a Tuesday morning. Excited to bring to you the second of our productivity series, and it is a big one. It is a big major campaign for the UZIN North America group, and it is exactly what it's titled, what's showing on your screen, Productivity is Our Product. Brian Pruce, I'm joined by him, and we're going to get going in just about a minute and a half, give a few more folks time to join, and we'll get going here. So again, thank you for joining us. Brian, I got 11:01. What do you think we get going here?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, good morning again, everybody. Welcome to the second of our productivity series. And today, as mentioned just a few minutes ago, we're going to kick off today with a major campaign for the UZIN organization. Joining us to give the presentation on Productivity is Our Product, which you see on our screen, is Vice President of Marketing and Sales for UZIN North America at Brian Pruce. Brian's been with the company since 2008. He is extremely passionate about the topic that we're going to be talking about. He's been in the commercial world exclusively on the Pullman side exclusively on the UZIN side for well over 8 years. And one thing that he is constantly talking to us about from an aspect of, what folks are asking for and what he's seeing in the market is really productivity. And he's going to go through a wonderful explanation of some of the things that we can help you with when it comes to productivity. And again, we look forward to sharing this information with you. Just a little housekeeping note, if you have questions along the way, there's a question bar off to your right-hand side on your screen. Feel free to type those in. We'll answer all questions at the end. And of course, these webinar series, we will continue them throughout the rest of the year. And the recordings of these are available on the website right where you actually registered. Once tomorrow rolls around, you'll see a recording of this. And so anybody that you want to share these with as we go along here, you'll be able to share the information with. But with that, Brian, welcome. Glad to have you on board here today. And I know you are extremely passionate about productivity as our product. So with that, I'll jump off here on the video and we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you, Josh. I'm going to minimize my video as well so we can see the screen better. And we will get started. So again, my name is Brian Pruce. I'm VP of Sales and Marketing for the brand UZIN in North America. I've been with the company since January 1st of 2008. This is an example. Here's a picture of our board. UZIN is a publicly traded family-owned company developed from a small regional adhesive manufacturer into one of the world's leading manufacturers of system products for flooring installation technology. The core focus of the UZIN AG is producing cutting-edge technology installation systems for the flooring installer. UZIN has expanded and acquired new brands and products to position the company as a full range supplier and system partner in the flooring industry. So under the UZIN, Wolff, Pullman, Arturo, Codex, RZ, and Pajarito brands, we supply a comprehensive range of products, systems, and services for the renovation and preservation of floor coverings of all types, including wood flooring, ceramic tile, and natural stone. As a system partner for the trade, planners, architects, and builders, UZIN has dedicated itself to providing professional support for technicians and contractors in all areas of flooring for over 100 years. And here's just a basic timeline. Again, our company was founded in 1911. The registration of the actual brand UZIN was in 1948. In 1954, our inspiration came from the founder Hans Wolff, who started the company and worked primarily as a head mechanic. And striving to keep Wolff a family-owned business, when the first self-propelled stripping machine, the Wolff Turbo, was patented and registered in 1972, Wolff had 16 employees. And 20 years later, the company moved to a larger factory near Stuttgart, which included modern-day CNC equipment, manufacturing tools and machines that were in high demand around the world. In 2002, UZIN acquired Wolff and welcomed them to the family of brands. And in 2015, the company moved to an even larger factory near Ilsfeld, Germany. And now, today, Wolff currently operates in more than 30 countries and continues to grow every year. And they produce products with passion, skill, dedication, and with an insatiable curiosity that keeps leading us down new paths. So you can see the production of the new or the patented machine, the stripping machine, the Wolff Turbo, and then UZIN celebrated our 100-year anniversary in 2011. In 2015, we opened up powder production in the United States, and now we move to the future with a 5-year plan called Passion. So what does it take to win a race? Well, commercial flooring projects are like races in F1. You know, number one, it takes a pilot of the vehicle. You also have very easy tracks, or you have very difficult tracks. You have challenging tracks. And those are like commercial flooring projects, if you will. You have easy projects and you have difficult projects. You ultimately need a vehicle to drive. In this case, we portray the 1978 Grand Prix F1 winner. This is the Ferrari that won the F1 back then. So you need a car, you need a pilot, and you need your track. And basically, if you look at the typical flooring job and you compare those to F1 races, you either can win the race or you can lose the race. Winning the race would be providing an exceptional result while maintaining your profitability targets. Losing the race could be crash and burn, and that could be losing money on that project. And that's what we don't want. We also want to look at pit stops as well, because in 1982, the Formula One pit stop took 26 seconds. Today, winning teams complete it in less than 2 seconds. And your projects demand the same efficiency. We have product installation systems uniquely designed and professionals expertly qualified to create productivity and profitability for your business. Productivity is our product. We have the combination of the Wolff Tools guys coming in here, bringing powerful tools, and the combination of UZIN, product-based system solutions to win the race. And this is how we make a difference in those pit stops or those stage gates of the project. And there's really, the way we see it, 4 major areas that we can influence. And I think that makes UZIN very unique. When you combine the power of tools and machines from Wolff and the preparation systems from UZIN, we now have stage gates that we can help manage and help manage the productivity specifically. So we're now influencing removal of the floor covering with stripping and scraping machines, preparation of the substrate with grinding, milling, and scarifying, placement of the new subfloor system, and then installation of the floor coverings, grooving, welding, hand tools. Here's just one example of removal in this case. We remove the floor covering, and what do you have? You have the adhesive, and it has to be scraped. The conventional method or alternative method would be to scrape the floor and to take out this adhesive. The secondary method would be the Wolff Duro stripper. And you see a major difference in productivity here, a difference of 100 square feet per hour versus 350 square feet per hour. So productivity over 1,000 square feet, you're gaining 7.2 hours with this machine. The investment through this MSRP that we have on the machine is $2,300. Now, depending on how big your shop is or whatever your situation is with the job, you could literally pay for this machine in one job, depending on the size of the job. if not even a week. And you have to look at the alternative method. What is more sophisticated method? Do we need to do this work on our hands and knees? Or can we provide a tool that can do it much faster, cleaner, and easier on the contractor's body? It doesn't matter what the price tag is on the Wolff stripper. It flat out saves you time and money, which equates to money. How much time? Well, over 85% faster per Salvador Torres with FloorTech. And we move over to preparation, an example of that, grinding, milling, and scarifying. Down in the lower bottom of the screen, you see a grinder, a 7-inch grinder. This is a very common practice on those job sites. You know, another contractor on his hands and knees grinding the floor. If he lifts that grinder up just a little bit, the dust comes flying out of it. And you see other methodology here as to what's common on job sites: scrapers, hammers, or hammer systems, and buffers. But you would also have this option too for Wolff Neo and the HEPA vac. You know, for instance, a Wolff Neo versus a mortar bed, you're looking at a 20-minute job versus an hour by doing it with a hand chisel or an electric grinder. So you're doing it in a fifth the time, and you're doing it in a dust-free environment because now this dust is contained. You're standing up. You're getting very, very close to the wall, so you have limited hand grinding on this job. You know, all this work that we do every day is very difficult because we have to be on our hands and knees. Now we're offering a solution where you can get up off your knees and walk with this machine and do it much quicker. So productivity per 1,000 feet, you're gaining 6.7 hours. Your investment on this machine is $3,800. You could pay, once again, pay for this particular machine, depending on the size of the job, in 1 day or even 1 week. After utilizing the PCD segments for removal, preparation with 20 grit segments to get to a point to install LVT, we were impressed with the productivity of the Neo and the fact that we used less patch, UZIN 888, because we were able to address the high spots first through grinding. Morgan Kerman, LMK, Contracting, Washington. Now we're going to just take a look at an example of placement. This is a hero shot of the powder products from UZIN. We have patching products. We have self-leveling compounds. We have mortar. We have waterproofing products, and we also have grout. We're going to take a look at the self-leveling compounds and the productivity benchmarks that these can bring. If you just look a little deeper than bag price and price per square foot, you have coverage rates that are 25% better than conventional products currently sold on the market. We have 1/3 the mix time than conventional suppliers. So instead of 3 minutes mixing time for a 2-bag mix, you have 1 minute of mix time. We have the highest amount of water per mix. So we're creating the lowest viscosity and the highest flow for ultimate leveling capabilities. You know, all the products from UZIN are cover-ready technology. So you don't have to go in and prep your prep. You don't have to bring patch back to the job. You're installing the floor covering and ready to go. And you're doing it in way less time than conventional products currently sold. We have no depth limitations in a single lift. Most conventional products have depth limitations and require multiple lifts. We can do it in 1 lift, therefore saving tons of man hours. And all UZIN self-leveling compounds can be pumped for the fastest and most efficient placement. And that can be seen through UZIN's pump program, which is ever growing. And most importantly, all the UZIN patches and self-leveling compounds are independently third-party tested for quality. And all these certificates are on our website. So whatever we say on our data sheet is the absolute truth. Quality is the most important thing to us. And so we've decided to categorize UZIN into what we call a performance pyramid, because at the bottom base of the pyramid, there is no change in quality from our lowest end price point to our highest end price point. What you gain is performance. You may gain something in specialty, and you may gain something in sustainability. So you can look at the bottom tier as our workhorses. The middle tier would be our thoroughbreds, and the top of the pyramid would be our stallions. And as you go up in the pyramid, let's say the premium plus designation, you would get the level plus effect with NC 170. And then at the top of the pyramid, you get level plus effect, but you get speed. So let's just take a quick look at what that looks like. So here's an example of speed. NC 172 bi-turbo, a cement-based self-leveling compound. Or we have NC 112, a gypsum-based self-leveling compound that's ready for flow covering in 6 hours. And that's an innovation brought by UZIN a couple of years ago. Gypsum used to take over a week to dry. Now we can do it in a day. And more importantly, we have a tool built by our partners at Wolff Tools, which we call the micropore system, which even reduced quantities further by half. So now you're placing this product at an eighth versus a quarter, and you're expanding the coverage rate even more, going from 30 square feet per bag to 60 square feet per bag. And when you couple that with the reduced mix times, you are saving a tremendous amount of money. The difference in price of UZIN material versus the savings in labor has paid for itself in overall profit and has allowed us to remain on schedule for our clients. Zach Brown, Principal, NFI Enterprises. So let's go to the final pit stop here, installation. So show an example of this. Here we have a system of products, the Wolff Master Groover and the Wolff Weldmaster, the automatic welder. And we have a short video that we want to show you here that I think portrays the Weldmaster. It's about 2 minutes long. So we're going to show this video and come back and conclude the webinar. All right, so I should be back with you. So that Master Groover investment would be $2,500, and the Weldmaster, $5,000. So you're looking at about an $8,000 investment here, but you're getting a perfect weld. You're getting an excellent operation. You don't have the contractor on his hands and knees, and now you're investing in a contractor learning the operation of this machine versus learning how to perform something such as welding, which is a a very difficult task and takes years to learn. These machines were a game changer for us as it allowed our guys to learn a machine instead of having to perform years of training to perfect heat welding. The Wolff Master Groover and Weldmaster paid for themselves within the first week. William C. Duffy, VP of Operations, Duffy & Lee Carpet Company. So if you look at Formula One and commercial flooring projects, they have quite a bit in common. You know, Formula One maximizes technology to win races. Flooring contractor has to utilize technology to successfully complete projects. Each racetrack presents different barriers to win when it comes to Formula One, and the same goes for the project. Those projects are stage gates of removal, preparation, placement, and installation. Formula One certainly has to rely on a race team and a pit crew during the race to overcome challenges. If they don't get the pit stop right, they can lose the race. And it's a difference of winning the race as well. And the same thing goes for commercial flooring contractors to overcome project issues. Formula One, they're certainly under pressure to produce faster lap times. And I would say that's absolutely the same in our world as projects are becoming, or the pressure to perform that project is even more critical, especially when we're squeezed by the other trades or deadlines to complete projects quicker. So why are we looking at this? Well, we have present day challenges that impact the commercial flooring industry. Right now, we have a lack of skilled workers. We have a lack of attracting younger generation to the workforce, which is critical to our success for the future. You know, and why is that? Well, there's a bit of a lack of sophistication in some of the ways and methodology. So we have to make a turn towards products and new methodologies that bring productivity, bring some sophistication to do this work better. We have to perform this work to install flooring on our hands and knees. But the process of gaining that end game project to get that goal done, we can take the contractor off his hands and knees and save wear and tear on his body and bring a certain level of sophistication to attract young people to this type of labor. This produces a tremendous demand overall. The number one thing in our industry is demanding is productivity. The good news is at UZIN and Wolff, we make products, but productivity is our product. By combining sophisticated tools and machines from Wolff and advanced software preparation from UZIN, we optimize output and produce exceptional results through system solutions that maximize productivity and profitability. So which vehicle wins the race? If you look at the model on the left, model with common practices featuring conventional products, the car from 42 years ago still looks cool to this day, but what vehicle is going to win the race today? Here's our abstract model, a car of tomorrow, the forward thinking that UZIN and Wolff brings, depicting sophistication and efficiency through innovation and product quality. And that vehicle is right here in these product guides, the UZIN product guide and the Wolff guide. This is a plethora of profitability and productivity in these catalogs. And all of it is being dollarized by the installation and contracting group out there that will allow us to share those numbers with you so you can identify what your return on investment is immediately. And you can do things in a more sophisticated and easier way that saves wear and tear for the contractor and also provide an exceptional result. And we also back that with our race team, which is your race team. Our race team, UZIN North America sales team, over 60 professionals here to help you provide those exceptional results and support your contracting groups. So you can connect with us. Look for us on uzin.us, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn, as well as our worldwide website. And please sign up for product updates and more through our website so you can see promotions and finding the deal of the day on some of these tools and machines as well. And I just want to thank you. I appreciate you spending the time with us to see what this value proposition is for us. We think this is what is the most important thing that we can be talking about, is defining productivity for the contractor base, and we appreciate it. So let's win the race. Thank you very much.
Well, Brian, thank you for bringing that wonderful concept of productivity as our product to us today. Just a few questions that kind of rolled in here that I would like to go through, and really just to our audience that's out there, really want to make sure that you guys understand that this is the kickoff of a wonderful campaign between these two brands. We're going to have a lot more in store for all of us here and all of the contractors. Our sales team is going to be talking about this for several years to come, and this is truly a major campaign where we're going to be able to show you the power of these two brands combined on your commercial flooring system. Brian, if you don't mind, though, we do have a couple questions. One of them is it talks a little bit about the third-party testing. Are all the self-leveling? Can you just kind of walk us through that, and why was that so important? A couple questions came in saying, are all the self-levelers third-party independently tested?
Josh, they absolutely are. We see that data sheets are somewhat inherent part of our industry. We're not governed by a certain governing body that defines what we have to put on there. Most people, it's a leap of faith, trusting that whatever is on the data sheet is legitimate. And at UZIN, we identified that we have been telling the truth this whole time. We want the industry to know that. We can't speak for other people out there, but as far as we're concerned, we may be the only supplier that is absolutely backing all the data on our data sheet. So you can trust the PSI, you can trust the dry times, the open times. We actually tested a more expansive ASTM and a more modern form of the ASTM, C1708. So we're very proud to showcase those numbers. And what it is it's proving that quality is there, this material. That's the most important thing to UZIN. And I also think it's the number one reason why consumers buy. But it's also defining that performance data that's on that data sheet equates to productivity. And especially when you look just a little bit deeper than price per square foot or bag price, you're able to determine that the productivity is there, especially when it's dollarized by the contractor.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks volumes. You speak a lot about the quality and innovation of UZIN and Wolff, and of course, that goes hand in hand with all of our brands across the entire world, with all the brands that you mentioned right in the very beginning. Of course, here in the United States, we do have a third brand, the Pullman brand, specifically just for the wood flooring. And again, we can't talk highly enough about all the products through the UZIN organization, that they are that premium level. They start at a premium, kind of the premium level. There is no good, better, and best. They're always the best, the bestest, bester, as we kind of joke around about in the back with that. With this pyramid scheme, or not pyramid scheme, but the pyramid graphic that's up there, and yes, folks, it's not a pyramid scheme. Sorry, with the pyramid graphic that is up there, um, talk to us a little bit about that. It's kind of an interesting approach. So as opposed to really kind of saying, oh, we have these products and we have these products, we've taken a little bit of a different term where we ask, okay, what's the most important feature, or what is the most important thing that you're looking for to get productivity out of the job? And then we kind of back into that a little bit with the performance pyramid. Could you kind of walk us through the thought process behind that as we were developing that?
Yeah, I think it's all about value engineering at the end of the day. That's what we're required to do. That's what all of our technical gurus on our team do every day. And it's about identifying that, meet the requirement for that job. But in today's age, I think it's important that we do categorize the products, especially with UZIN, to determine that level of performance of where you may need to go to attain better productivity. It might be a specialty product at the top of the pyramid that allows you to perform that work in 2 hours versus waiting 24 hours. And time is money. And I just think that from the aspect of the contracting community, really paying attention, we're pulling all of our data on how productive all of our products are from them. They're the ones telling us what the numbers are. So I think now we're defining each category that determines the productivity the performance, the sustainability, and making it a little bit easier to digest and pick and choose which product you need to value engineer the project for you.
Yeah, when we, especially when we look at the UZIN range, I mean, there is just a plethora of products there, and you brought up the product catalog from UZIN. Certainly it can be a little overwhelming at points in time, and so that's why I think another reason why. To your point, we said, okay, let's look at the project. Let's see what we need to get done for the project wise. And again, to your point, whether it's speed or time or whatever the case is, and then let's back into the right product from UZIN and kind of go forward that way. Um, so a little bit on the Wolff tools. Wolff tools, I mean, there is a, again, if you want to look at a wonderful product catalog. I mean, you look in that range there, there's everything from concrete grinding to installation tools for LVT, installation tools for subfloor prep, and really the tools that we talked about here today. I mean, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There, we could probably extend this webinar by 3 hours by just going through all the different systems. Specifically there, when we talk about the Neo, and we're just kind of looking at that machine. Notice it hooks up to the vacuum system. Are all those vacuums and everything else? And one other thing I think to point out: are those all HEPA certified? Are those all meeting the OSHA requirements and so forth, so that a contractor can go in there and have kind of a one-stop shop with everything and not have to worry about any of that stuff?
Absolutely. We make the highest rating for HEPA filters and the OSHA rating, and that really keeps the contractor safe in today's environment. If you kind of look at some of the methodologies that we used from, let's say, 42 years ago, they weren't exactly safe to the contractor, and today's world is affected by that because young people don't want to take on this work. But if we brought a more sophisticated way of doing this work, it is an absolute amazing machine. It runs on 110. You can set it up within seconds. You hook that up to a pre-separator, which captures the larger particles and actually saves on your HEPA filters on the vacuum. You can pivot the head to the wall, so you're off by that much, and you have very little hand grinding at that point. You can get into that job much quicker. But that little guy, the Neo, is a beast, and every commercial shop should have that machine. It brings productivity, it screams productivity, and it's been a very big success story for Wolff. What an innovation that they brought.
Yeah, and there's 2 points I just want to touch on there. I mean, I've ran the machine myself, and also have been on option one, as you put it, with the mortar beds there. I've certainly removed some mortar beds by hand. I think we all have, and after running the Neo, I said, man, where is this thing then, or where was that, several years ago. You want to talk about something that I think you hit a very you made a statement where you said every commercial flooring shop should have a machine like this, definitely with the Neo. But I think the machine that we always hear all of our folks at Wolff Tools talk about, and I know you talk about, is the Duro. And if you look at the Duro, I mean, an investment of less than $3,000, and the time savings over what is the alternative to remove adhesive off the concrete. I mean, it is still just a scraper and manual labor. Is that correct, Brian?
There's no doubt. I've seen it myself. Was on a project in the Bay Area at a Kaiser doing a wing, and they had to remove the adhesive, and there was about 3 guys shoulder to shoulder with hand scrapers going down the hallway to remove that adhesive, when they could have had a machine that you have the option of standing up with the Duro with the handle, or taking the handle off and getting on your hands and knees for areas that are harder to reach. But you're smoking through that with blazing through with the blade attachment that goes on the Duro to remove adhesives, and getting that work done much quicker and going on to the next stage gate of that project. And I think that's what we were really inspired by, seeing contractors around the nation. For instance, we had a friendly Canadian of ours, a contractor that was doing a school, and he had to cut circles into the floor, and he pulled an installation tool from Wolff, the Wolff catalog, the Pro Circle Cutter. And the alternative method to that would be a nail and some string and a pencil. So I think a lot of contractors will look through the catalog, and they'll page through and they'll say, oh, that's a really neat tool. And then they'll go on to the next page and they'll go to the next page. There's no real definition of where the productivity is at that point. We interviewed him after he purchased the tool, and he did this school that had all types of circles and arcs. And we asked him, what was your productivity? And he said, I did the job in half the time I normally would have, and I got a factory result. And I think that's what it's about in today's age. We have to encourage the contractors to look a little bit deeper than price per square foot and bag price, and look at the C1708 data. There's productivity that's right there that they wouldn't know about. If you're putting down, 1,000 bags of a product that, that only have, 26 square feet in a coverage rate per bag versus ours that yield up to 30, that's a tremendous amount of man hours, especially when you add the mix time is much shorter for us. So, man hours equal lots of dollars. And, if you can get into those jobs quicker and get them done quicker, then you're doing more jobs a year and you're bringing extra profitability that way as well.
And that's just the man hours that we're talking about once we get into the installation side of things. That doesn't include all the preparation side of things that we got done talking about. So I mean, there's man hours to be saved there, and that's why this whole concept of productivity is our product, and the way that these brands kind of just basically harmonize with each other is just it's as you mentioned, a wonderful value proposition there. So a couple of questions here to go, but you mentioned one thing: sophistication of equipment. Boy, that welder looks pretty sophisticated, and no doubt, to your point, we see it across the board in the flooring world. There is a lack of manpower, and there's a lack of younger folks wanting to come up, folks that have been in the trade, especially when it comes to welding and so forth. That is truly an art that is dying. Unfortunately, when the older generation is basically the more experienced generation is starting to retire and leave the industry, there's gonna be a gap there for that type of service, and it still needs to be done. Um, the machine looks impressive, and you talk about sophistication. Boy, that looks like a sophisticated machine. Do you mind just kind of elaborating just a little bit more on that machine? And I know you have a really good example of William there, who gave us that testimonial. So
He did. He actually had video that was the machine was on a 183-foot run,
wow.
and they're walking behind the machine laughing at the productivity of the machine and what the performance of it. And we see that too. We speak to that community that does welding, and we very much appreciate those guys. On average, a guy who welds floors is 58 years old today.
Wow.
So it is a dying breed, and it's unfortunate because you see the pride and the passion that they have to weld floors. They kind of remind me of tattoo artists, but I think in today's world, with how fast the proverbial squeeze of how fast buildings are going up with lean construction philosophy, the fact that we're the last to go on the job site in typical cases, if the other trades weren't able to meet their plan, how are we going to make up for all those hours as well? We're already under pressure. I think even William said it. I said, William, how much time do you have to get your job done typically? He goes, well, a lot of times we'll submit 100 hours to perform work, but then in reality, we're really only given 25 hours to do that work when we should have had 125 hours. So it's a major squeeze by that. And then you couple that with just trying to find talent to do this. Now he's taking that he made a switch to products and services, and now he's focused on showing them the operation of the machine, and they're happy. They're not on their hands and knees doing a 200-foot run. It's very, very difficult. It takes a lot of work and a lot of practice to become good at welding. You have a machine that is unbelievably sophisticated. The master groover has a spring tension wheel. So if you're going over concrete and you have ups and downs, your seam won't hourglass. It's just a consistent line all the way through. And the machine itself, the weld master, has the same. So it's just going to go over those contours and give you a perfect weld.
Yeah, it's great. That's great. So One question that has gotten brought up is, okay, I'm in, guys. I really like the welder. I want to see it, or I want to. And there's a couple folks say I'd like to see some demonstrations of the UZIN products. Can you talk to us just a little bit about the UZIN and Wolff teams, and the fact that we have not only invested in the technology of the product, we've invested in marketing of the product, we've invested in the research and development, but we also invest in our sales force. And I remember a number that got thrown out at our corporate meeting, which was just staggering. And we had a kind of a round robin question of how many years have people been in the flooring industry, all different types of flooring, and it was some ridiculous number, well over 1,500 a year. Can you talk to us a little bit about the sales team, their equipment that they have, their availability, and kind of this we want to be that go-to resource. We want people to come to our pit stall so we can help them out.
Absolutely. I think it was 1,500 years of experience on Team UZIN, all brands combined. So it's a lot of years of expertise. Most of the people on our team have a background in installation or contracting, and that makes them very useful on the manufacturing side. I think the biggest thing is those contractors that may go through one of our catalogs and look at a fancy tool from Wolff, and they just switch the page over because they just assume that their methodology is good and is fast. In many cases, it is, but they don't know how much better that Pro Circle cutter would have brought him. I think any contractor would invest in that tool had they known that it takes half the time to complete that work and they get a factory result. They're going to snatch up that tool right away. So I think the essence of productivity as our product is, we're the lean construction consultants of the industry. We're taking deep dives with contracting groups that want to look at every single tool from Wolff and every system from UZIN and pair it with the particular floor covering that they're putting down. So like sheet vinyl that requires welding, there's a countless number of tools in that catalog. And it's almost like identifying all these stage gates throughout and saying, oh, well, we're only maximizing 15 out of the 21 potential ways to optimize this job and provide a better result. Let's look at the other 6. This would be phenomenal. We could actually maybe find more dollars. And then we're having them to define what that productivity rating is for us on the product compared to the alternative method, which might be 42 years old. It might be 5 years old. This is forward thinking quality and innovation that bring productivity every day. I think the biggest thing is that you can try before you buy. We'll prove it to you. We have almost like these race teams. Our Wolff Tools vans are big giant Mercedes Sprinter vans that have all the tools in there. And Team UZIN works with their brothers and sisters in Wolff, and we define opportunities, and we get the Wolff Tools guys to go down there on the job site, which I think is the most important. Try the tool out, take time, and let's define what your return on investment is on this tool. Is it indeed better than the alternative method that we learned a long time ago? Is it more productive, and are you getting a better result? We're willing to try, whether it's UZIN or Wolff. Try before you buy. We'll prove it to you. It's all in the numbers, and we back that up again with what we put in writing is all certified.
Yeah, absolutely. And our UZIN folks, they have vehicles. They are available to come out on job site demonstrations. We want to be a partner with you. We want to be out there working with you. If it's training your folks or getting used to new types of material, we're more than happy to come to your shop or your showroom or anywhere where we can provide some training. We're more than happy to do that. That is something that we absolutely love to do. The guys in the field love to do. So anytime that we can come out there and work with you, whether it's the Wolff brand or the UZIN brand or any of our brands, we definitely want to make sure that we do that. Let me just take a quick scroll at the questions. I think we've answered all of them. Couple final thoughts here, Brian. One thing I'd just say is that, again, to the audience, this is a major campaign that is just kicking off, and you're going to see a lot more items around it. We wanted to kind of give you the back end here with productivity as our product. We're certainly encourage folks to share their productivity stories with us. I mean, that's how we gathered a lot of these initial concepts. And so just really would encourage the audience to talk to us, challenge us on our math. I mean, that's one of the things that we always talk about. I don't want to say it's the old Coke challenge or Pepsi challenge, but to your point, Brian, challenge us on the productivity. Let us come out and work with you on the job site. So just stay tuned from a marketing sense. Share those different productivity stories with us. And Brian, it looks like we're all the way through all the questions. Any final thoughts from your end? And I mean, just a wonderful concept that you really kind of brought to us here.
Yeah, well, we certainly appreciate the attendance that this webinar has brought. We are very passionate about this. I think it is the #1 issue in our industry. We need to be looking at maybe making a turn towards better methodologies, making a turn towards faster products and services that allow us to get into these jobs quicker, because production schedules are only getting tighter, and there's no answer necessarily for today's crisis of the labor shortage yet. We're trying to be a part of that and trying to bring more sophistication to the industry to do this job and make it easier on the contractor, so they can create some sustainability for the industry.
Right.
But overall, please get on our social media platforms. That's the other thing is this is a value proposition for us that allows us to promote. And we have all kinds of promotions. I mean, some of these tools do have a higher price tag. And I think from a contractor's point of view, they want to know, am I getting the deal of the day? Am I overpaying for this tool? Well, we have an excellent distribution network that we call partners, and they've been wonderful helping us promote these tools. So, look online for our distribution network, look for the promotions on our social media platforms, and we promise that ROI will come back to you, and we will bring, we'll dollarize the time and money in such a way that you can identify what that ROI is for you, and you can get into these jobs quicker and get them over with and provide an exceptional result.
Yeah, absolutely. And most importantly, increase your productivity with our products. So that's why we came up with the productivity as our products. So Brian, thank you for the time. Thank you for
Thank you,
bringing this
Josh.
concept to it. As mentioned before, if there's, certainly get a hold of your local UZIN or Wolff territory manager. You can find those folks on our website, on the UZIN website or on the Wolff website. Definitely appreciate everybody's time for joining us today. Look forward to showcasing this entire concept further as we go along. And basically, if there are any more questions, again, please go ahead and just make sure that you contact your local rep. And appreciate everybody's time. Have a great day.
Thank you.